Good morning, my fellow Malaysians. This is Dr. K.N. Singh again from Johor Bahru. You must have heard of Amir Research, a think tank headed by Dato' Rais Hussein, who estimates that 4.5 trillion ringgit was stolen from Malaysians during the period of 1997 to 2023. This actually amounts to more than 2 billion a year. Now, this is a conservative figure, and the multiplier effect of this loss has not been factored yet. Dr. Muhammad Abdul said in Parliament that the taxpayers' money was used to bail out Tabung Haji, and this came from all Malaysians, Chinese, Indians, Kadazans, and Malays as well. And it would have been fair to use zakat money to bail Tabung Haji out. The people who were responsible for Tabung Haji were not prosecuted, neither have they paid back any of the money they siphoned out. This shows that the Malays in authority are refusing to persecute the Malays even if they are caught. Abu Hassan of the Academy Nasuntra points out that the Malay proclamation brought about by Tun Mahathir and signed by Hadi and Perikatan Nasional, PN, which is a splinter of the UMNO faction, is trying to address the drift in the Malay community, which is now splintered. Perikatan Nasional, as we know, it has been very cleverly named to resemble and echo Pakatan Harapan, and I myself have made mistakes when mentioning them. All our troubles are with Perikatan Nasional, and it has been said many times that copying is the highest form of flattery. Professor Chin from Tasmania University pointed out that Malays are already in the majority in the government, and yet the poor Malays have never progressed. Only the connected cronies and Tun Mahathir's family amass great fortunes. The poor Malays are still struggling, and Tun Mahathir had 22 years to uplift them, and he did not do so. Only his cronies and his children benefited while he was Prime Minister. Somebody pointed out that it is strange that Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Li Ka-shing of Hong Kong, they're all billionaires, and they could not teach even one child to be a billionaire. And here Tun Mahathir has managed to teach 4 children who are now billionaires. Wow, Tun, I wonder how you did this. In June 2021, Subramaniam Krishnan asked in a pertinent article for Tun to tell us where this family wealth came from. He has not explained where this wealth actually came from. You just need to Google, and it's all there for you to look at the extent of Tun Mahathir's wealth, though no mention is made of where it came from. Dato' Mokhzani Mahathir owns Kensana Capital and 255 companies with assets of USD 21 billion. Mirzan Mahathir owns Crescent Capital and 156 companies with assets of 17 billion. Mukriz Mahathir owns Opcon Holdings that was awarded Telecom Malaysia contracts worth billions, also has 128 companies with assets of USD 13 billion. Marina Mahathir also owns 52 companies with assets of USD 9 billion. I honestly cannot imagine how, with just hard work, as Tun Mahathir says, without someone feeding you the contracts, can you accumulate such wealth. I'm sure the authorities have looked into this, and though there has been no persecution yet, justice in Malaysia does take time, and we've seen with Dato Najib, but trust me, it will come. Now, let me also correct the misconception that I am a racist and anti Malay. This is not true, as I worked under real gentlemen who are Malays. Tan Sri Nur Hisham is a great example. He was our last DG and did a great job during COVID. He's a Malay that I look up to. Professor Tajuddin is another Malay I respect, and his writings and advice make a lot of sense, my friends. Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim is also a Malay, and most Malays look up to him as I do. And in this list, I will also include YB Rafizi, YB Akmal, and even YB Nurul. I admire honest Malays, and there are many in Malaysia. What I'm against is corrupt Malays in high places who keep milking the system. There are 64% Malays in Malaysia, and at this time, 90% of the people in power in Malaysia are Malays. The poor Malays are still suffering, and Tun Mahathir still blames the non-Malays. Please explain the logic of this statement. Why should the Malays be poor when 90% of those in power and authority are Malays? Will someone explain this to me before you call me a racist? Tun Mahathir also needs to explain how his family became so wealthy and as all his cronies around him. There is a divide among Malays who can think and make up their own mind, and those who follow the Malay clerics blindly as their religious teachers and should be listened to. Most Malays in the last 60 years have been told that they are deprived, and unless helped by the government, they will not survive. This is just to keep the Malays ignorant, and I do not agree with Tun Mahathir when he says the Malays are lazy. They have just not been given the opportunities, and all the opportunities have been channeled to Tun Mahathir's cronies and families of the rich, as well as Tun Mahathir's own family. The Malays have been given scholarship to study abroad, and these Malays are incompetent but very, very connected. The competent Malays do not get any scholarships as they are not connected. Some Malays come back with degree but are still incompetent, and the country suffers as they cannot do the job. Others return with Matsale wives, and a few do not return at all. I'm sure many Malaysians, including the Malays, agree with me that there are also bound to be some Malaysians who will not see reason as they are connected and comfortable. That's okay. You have a right to an opinion even though it is wrong. It is our fault as we non-Malays are silent and do not speak up as we are afraid to rock the boat and are afraid the Malays will get angry. This has resulted in the Malays becoming more and more entitled, and there is no one willing to speak out when they are wrong. With the PH and the unity government, we have the freedom of speech, which is often abused as some leaders use the racial card. Ustad Hadi and Tun Mahathir are good examples of this. There is no need to do anything, as Malaysians can see what is happening, and we will see democracy in action in our next general election for sure. We did in 2018. We Malaysians, all of us, the Malays, Chinese, Indians, Kadazan, Iban, and the Sarawakans, are a lot wiser now than we were before. Thank you for listening, my friends, and may God bless Malaysia and keep it safe from racial strife. Thank you, and goodbye till I see you again.